This is Israel Jabbar Singh, the Director of Officers IAS Academy. Now, today is Civil Services Day, so I thought I'll share few of my thoughts on the roles and responsibilities of civil servants. You being a civil service aspirant, want to enter into civil service, you should know what are the roles and responsibilities. Now, first and foremost thing you have to know is it is not just the civil servant who's doing service to the country. First, you have to know that. Say, for example, Subhash Chandra Bose. Now, he was a topper of civil service. He got 4th rank. He didn't join civil service even though he cleared the exam, and no one can question the service he has done for the country. Say Madam Aruna Roy. She was an IAS officer, served for 3-4 years. After that, she resigned and was staying in a small hut in Rajasthan, in a village, started one movement for right to information, started one NGO called MKSS, worked for years, brought in one, say, right to information in Rajasthan, later for our country. Now, that RTI agitation which she has done through her NGO has brought in RTI for our country, and I can definitely say that RTI alone, whatever she has done, it is equivalent of one job of 1,000 IAS officers put together. That RTI is more than that. So, first remove the thought that only the civil service is going to do service for the country. No, everyone from different walks of life can serve the country. However, even though these are exceptions, now you are one ordinary citizen, even I am also, because I am no longer in civil service. Now, if you or me want to do some service today, we are not in civil service. We want to, say, go and change the working of ration shops so that the people are getting their allotted food grains without any issue. Moment you go, immediately the ration shop wala will start questioning you. Who are you to ask? He may have some gundas also. Now, you want to go and change the midday meal in your area. That is, midday meal in government schools are served properly without any issue. Moment you want to go, they won't even allow you inside the school. Third, you are seeing some roads which are not in proper condition. You want to go and change. First of all, you won't have money and you want to agitate. But again, agitation is not that easy, being a single person. Now, whatever you cannot do as of now, you will be given the authority to do, plus also the resources. You have every right to enter the ration shops. You have every right to reform the midday meal system. You have every right to ensure that the civic amenities, roads, everything is proper. And for that, you are going to be paid also. The government is going to pay every month salary also. So that is the beauty of the civil service, that you can do service to our countrymen with full authority backed by the laws. So, civil service, today being the Civil Service Day, you should understand that once you enter civil service, you will be given all authority to do service for the country. Now, as I worked, first I got IRTS, all of you should know, and later I got IAS. So, my examples, I'll tell what are the roles and responsibilities. I'll confine, the examples will be mostly IAS related because I worked in IAS. It doesn't mean IAS is the only service which is doing service to the country. Every service is doing service to the country in their own capacity. However, the examples I'm going to give is mostly IAS related because I worked in IAS. Okay, now the roles and responsibilities. Now, first you have to divide it into two different things. One is the status quo role. Second is change role. Now, what is that status quo role of a civil servant? See, you become an officer, say IAS officer. Now, there are certain things which you have to do day to day to ensure that the system continues. Say, you have to ensure that the voter ID cards are distributed, the community certificates are distributed properly, the elections are held properly. Now, these are all the status quo which you have to do day in and day out so that the system continues. The second role is the change role. Now, change role is, in fact, now you are going to change the status quo. You are going to question the system itself. Say, now you want to go and do reform the ration shops in your area. Now, moment ration shops, if you are going to enter, do some raid, checking, yes, there are some vested interest across. Now, moment you touch them, chances are that they are going to touch you. Touch you is not that physical harm and all, but there is going to be pressure on you. Say, you are going to go and reform the midday meal system. Now, moment you are going to reform, someone who is already getting illegal benefits out of that midday meal is going to lose that money. Say, you are going to reform the roads. So, proper spending, expenditure happens. Then someone who is already taking money out of it may get affected now. So, this is the change role. Now, a civil servant's job is not just status quo only, it should also bring in some changes. But that is the most challenging because change, moment you change, moment some people are going to get affected, yes, a reaction will start. However, it is the job of civil servant who has to do that. If you cannot do, then who else will bring in the change? Now, bringing change. Is it that easy? Yes, if it is easy, if you start from day one. No, I remember the one lecture I got it when I was in training in Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration in Mussoorie. One officer, one senior IAS officer, he was retired, he came for a guest lecture. So he was the personal secretary of our Lal Bahadur Shastri. So he came and gave a lecture. Now once he was telling us, see, you have to do the change role and don't think that you can do it later, because always we have a feel that we can do little later, because change, once you start changing the system, pressure will come on you. He was telling one example. One person who joined as an IAS during training, the first posting is a trainee collector, trainee assistant collector. So during the trainee time, he was thinking, he was finding some faults in the system. He was thinking whether we can recommend it to the district collector. So he goes and tells the district collector. District collector says, see, this is the system. There are important vested interests there. So once you become a sub-collector, you change. As of now, better leave it, because huge political pressure may come. So this person leaves it. After that, now his posting is confirmed. This person becomes a sub-collector. Now, moment he becomes a sub-collector, now he wants to reform the system. However, he sees that so much pressure. So he starts thinking, okay, the collector is a very powerful post. Once I become collector, I will change the system. After a few years, he becomes a collector. Once he becomes a collector, there he realizes being a collector is also not that easy. There is going to be pressure. They may transfer. So he thinks, no. Only the chief secretary has all power. So I will become a chief secretary and change the system. After so many years, finally he becomes a chief secretary. And once he becomes a chief secretary, he realizes holding the post of chief secretary is more important than changing the system. So without changing, finally he retires. So what that Rajendra Prasad, that IAS officer, told us is, if you want to change it from day one. See, the day you enter the service, from that day, you should be hungry to bring in changes every day. So, the system itself will know that this person is like this. So that the pressure, see, always, once you set the expectation in your cadre, whichever service, whichever cadre you belong to, cadre means the state which you are going to get posted, immediately the news spreads that this person is such and such person. So he is not amenable or she is not amenable. Then accordingly the expectations in the system will become they won't expect anything illegal out of you. They'll expect changes from you. So accordingly, the pressure gradually, within few months, they will all know this person means he'll do this only or she'll do this only. So the pressure will not be there. So first and foremost thing what I want to say is, because you're all civil service aspirants, once you enter service, don't wait for bringing changes after some years. Start from day one. Now, so as I told you, there are two things. One is the status quo role, another is the change role. Now, status quo role is continuing the existing things, certain things like community certificates, issuing of ration cards, say issuing of voter ID cards. These are the status quo. That is one important job of a civil servant. However, the civil servant's one of most important responsibility is to bring in change in the system also. Now, another important thing you have to know is, we all prepare. See, I was also an aspirant like you. When we prepare exam, we think moment we get into civil service, we are the bosses. Whatever we say, people are going to listen. Like one magic wand, you will do something, all will say yes, 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 and changes will happen. No, it will never happen. You first and foremost thing you have to know is, no one can be a boss. You, as a whichever post you are going to hold, you should know who are the bosses and empower them. So you may be surprised why I am telling, if you are a sub-collector, additional collector, collector, SP, ASP, whatever, you are not the boss. No, you are not the boss. The reality is, no one is a boss. The bosses will keep changing. Remember that always. Your role is identify who's the boss and give them power to decide. Now, I'll give you one example. I was posted in Jhargram, it is in West Bengal, South Bengal. It is a Naxal affected area. Okay, so I was posted there, and there was one CRPF camp also. So the local people were not liking the CRPF camp there, because CRPF means they are a little rough and tough, plus Naxalism was also there. Periodically these people will go on rounds. So they were giving a lot of petitions for that CRPF camp to be removed, and also the Naxals were pressurizing the local villagers to get that CRPF camp to be removed, because it is problem for the Naxals also. However, it is not possible to remove a CRPF camp. So finally one day, one allegation came, and it may be true or may not be true, I also do not know. Suddenly there was some news that some CRPF men, when some women, local village women were taking bath, these people went that side, that was wrong, so immediately it has to be removed. Now it becomes a bigger issue now. Women, local villagers are taking bath there in a ghat, or what you call, in a small lake. Local CRPF were going there, so it has to be, this was now becoming a bigger issue now. Now, being a sub-collector there, immediately through some informers, I came to understand that some big issue is going to happen. So in fact, my informer was one local person. Now this local person was a politician, but not in a big party, not in those days top parties, one small party, but I very well knew that he had some Naxal connections. Now this person generally was whoever was the earlier sub-collectors always avoided him, because he was one nuisance. One day, I also knew that he was a nuisance. One day, somewhere around 11:30, 12, suddenly I got a call, and he called me, and he was crying. And he was telling me, sir, my son, now his son, in fact, now also at times, at least once a month he calls, even though I'm out of service, still he calls me. That time his son was a small baby. Now that son has grown up now. Now he is admitted in the hospital, and the doctors are not taking care, and they are telling it's very, very serious, and the child should be taken to Kolkata. Now, having received this news, my sub-collector bungalow was adjacent to the sub-divisional hospital. So immediately I just went by walk, just adjacent, went there, and he was full of tears. So I called the local subdivisional health officer, and immediately, once a sub collector calls, immediately the best doctors of that area came, everything sorted out, and his son was saved. Okay, saved in the sense he was good, he became normal. Now, this person became one of my informer later. So he told me, sir, we are going to, the local people are going to are planning next week one agitation of Manipur type. Now, what is this Manipur type? In Manipur, few years before, the women of that area suddenly removed their dresses totally in front of the cameras of the press like BBC, CNN, International, and told this, we are against this armed force, that law is there, na? So that special power, we want that to remove, otherwise we are in this status, and they removed. So it became an international news. Now, the similar Manipur-like agitation, it was getting brewed, or it was getting ready in Jhargram. That my informer told me. So I immediately, I could understand that it's a big, because Moment International, because they want to get the CRPF camp removed because of that local issue which was taking back, that local women, when they were taking bath, they had some issues with the local CRPF Jawan. So they wanted it to be removed. Now, so moment I heard this news, I thought I have to inform the district collector. So the district collector was is a boss, because I am a sub collector. The district collector is a boss. So district collector, on that day evening, he came to Jhargram for a public program, one function. So I was also one of the guests. So I thought I'll inform him at that time. So evening time, we were all were sitting in the dais. Myself, the district collector was in the center, I was sitting beside. And once the program was going on, I was informing him, sir, there is a news that next week they are planning to go for Manipur-like agitation because of the CRPF issue. Now we have to take steps. You please call some local people somehow sort it out. Now, the district collector is a very good officer, honest officer. Now, he was a local Bengali officer. I am a Tamil, was posted in West Bengal, whereas he was a Bengali officer. So he told me, just we were whispering in the dais itself. He was telling, see Israel, see, you are new to this state. I am here for long, from my birth. Now, in West Bengal, this will never happen. Manipur-like agitation, I know Bengali women, that's like removing dress in front of camera for agitation type, it will never going to happen. So don't worry at all, he told. I still told, sir, but however, my informer says this. He told, don't worry, but take my word, it will never happen. Then after that, it went away. Means the meeting got over. Meeting in the sense that public meeting. After that, he went to the district headquarters. 2-3 days passed. And finally, the day before that agitation, again I got the news that next day they are going to do. And I again called the collector. Collector told, no, Israel, I already told you, why you are worrying? Definitely it will not happen. Now, so that particular thing got over. Next day, around 10:30, 11, they gave a press statement, that local committee which was agitating, they gave a press statement that they are going to do Manipur-like agitation, and by 1 p.m. Now we were around 10:30, 11, they gave the press statement. Now immediately at that time this got flashed, and then CM was Buddhadev Bhattacharya. So question was asked in the Legislative Assembly. That day Legislative Assembly was in session. So immediately he came out of the assembly, called the district collector. District collector told, oh, is it so, sir? Okay, I'll take care. And immediately district collector called me and told, Israel, just as now this situation, whatever you told, it seems it is going to happen. I told, sir, that's what I told. Now, somehow you have to ensure it should never happen. I do not know what you will do. It should never happen. Now I told, okay, sir. Now he told, what should I do now? I told, he asked me whether I can come to Jhargram. Jhargram is the subdivisional headquarters, and the issue which is supposed to happen was in Belpahari, which is the core Naxal belt. So he told, shall we all go to Belpahari? I'll come immediately. CM was online, so somehow we should ensure it should not happen. Now I told, okay, you don't need to come. You stay in Midnapur, you send the ADM General. Okay, ADM General is the additional collector rank. He should be in Jargram. I'll go to Belpari. Now, I am just a subordinate. He is my boss. But see, now the boss's relation is going to change. It is the situation which will decide. So I was telling, and he was like, okay, I'll be there. And he was asking, why not me also? Then I told, sir, moment I go, say around, if my negotiations fail, then I can tell additional collector is there, he will come. We can buy time. So additional collector, next level. And after that, again, if it fails, still we have time, because people will say if collector comes, it will be solved. So somehow we'll have more and more time, sir. So better you stay in Midnapur. Let ADMG come to my seat, means subdivisional headquarter. I'll go to the Belpari. Once I went there, by that time, that person I told you, one politician, he was well linked, who was my informer also. He was one local party, I don't want to name the party, local party political leader. So I talked to him, Bhai, you should do something, but it should not happen. Okay, whatever you can do, you have to do, but you are. Now this person owes me something because of that issue. That day night, I told you that Jargram hospital, his son. So he told, okay sir, I'll do my level best that it doesn't happen, but certain demands they are going to make. So in advance, I was getting whatever the demands they are going to make in that meeting. If it fails, they'll go for the Manipur. The moment I went there, one was definitely CRPF, removal of this, and other issues were there, like the road should be proper, then period MNREGS where payment should be better. So many things. So many of the things which we as administrator can be able to do. Certain things like removal of CRPF camp is not, because actually it was Naxals who were instigating this. So I was in advance knowing what are the demands. I went there to the Belpahari in a BDO office. We went there, and then the additional SP, who's a senior officer, he's an IPS officer, senior to me, because I was in the SDO rank. Then one SDPO, subdivisional police officer. So he was my rank. So we were all there, and moment I entered the meeting hall, he told, I told additional SP, you better don't be there. Additional SP and SDPO, you be in the adjacent rooms. I don't want you people. Just a BDO is enough for me. Now, their bosses to me, who's deciding now? The situation is changing, you see. So then the meeting went on, and most of the demands, like whatever due, like drinking water supply, roads, MNR, certain things which we can do, which we should have done already. So those things, and finally this was removed. Okay, this agitation was removed. Now, after it was around 1:32, they to finally announce, okay, we are satisfied, and however, the government should ensure that very soon, CRPF camp should also be removed, which they also knew we are not going to remove. But however, the agitation was stopped. Now, around 1:32 it got over. So another 2-3 hours, I was reviewing the BDO, because after all I went up to Belpahari, which is a little far away from the subdivisional headquarters. So I was reviewing what are the works going down this. Around 5 o'clock, I started from Belpahari to my subdivisional headquarters. Now somewhere on the way, see, these are all, it is called as Jungle Mahal. Okay, that Jargram, you can type it also in Google. Jungle area, full of forest area. Somewhere when we were coming back, suddenly in the road there was around 5:30, 5:45. Okay, when the road was fully blocked, full of vehicles. Then I thought, what is happening? I asked the driver, what is that? Then the driver got down, and again he came back and told, sir, it seems some tiffin carrier bomb is there. Now, what is this tiffin carrier bomb? In a tiffin, one bomb will be kept. If someone opens the tiffin or touches it, it will blast. Big blast. Okay. Now, a few months before, I'm talking about a day, that few months before, same thing happened in another part where 2 policemen were also died when they tried to defuse it. So this tiffin carrier bomb is on the way. Now, so the road was blocked totally, vehicles were there. So tiffin carrier bomb was kept somewhere. So I now got down. Now I was going there. So just walking, and after maybe around 10 minutes walk, finally I went to the core area. Now, there big crowd was there, but there were full of policemen pushing everyone. So I was also just going and peeping, and one policeman pushed me. Okay. Now, suddenly someone nearby, my driver told, hey, SDO Shahab. So that policeman was little and didn't know what to do, because I'm SDO. Then he told, sir, please don't come. Still, he was not allowing me. Now, who's the boss there now? A person was telling additional SP you wait outside few hours before. Now I was there. Yes, because the boss is someone. The situation is changing. After that, I could feel the full, it was going on, that operation. Now, there I could observe from somewhere sidewards. I was in the crowd, take my word. And along with the people, policemen with lathis fully, we were around 100 meters away from that point. Now, there I could see SP, additional SP. The SP was one Tamil officer. He was posted there at that time. He was there. Then one police constable who's the bomb diffusing squad. He was a specialist. That constable was there inside, and we were all observing from away. Now that constable was telling the SP, sir, we need this many sandbags. Now additional SP was telling additional SP was running, arranging. So lot of sandbags were coming. So this was going on for almost 1 hour, and that only now the SP and that constable were at the point. Okay, additional SP little away. I was all in the crowd. Now, finally, once actually what they were trying to do at that time is they didn't want to take the tiffin box somewhere away and explode it. Then it suddenly, if it blasts on the way, it becomes an issue. So they wanted to do a local there itself, diffuse it. So what they did is they were putting lot of sandbags surrounding it without touching it, and finally blast it locally. So that explosion, those sandbags, so many sandbags were surrounded, and the SP was also shouting here, there, everything was happening. And last 5 minutes, when they are about to explode it, finally that constable told, I still remember, the SP is a big senior person. Sir, now your turn, you have to go away now. Now immediately SP was pushed back, because now yes, only that constable was blasting. Now finally they blasted it without any damage. Now, see how the bosses are changing continuously. The same constable, maybe 2 days before, he would have applied for leave to the SP. SP would have told, no, let me see. That time there is another boss. The bosses will keep changing. You cannot say, I am the SP, I am the sub-collector now, I will also be in the scene, then I will be blasted. Okay, so always remember this. Don't come into service with the expectation that I will be the boss always. No. You are a single one brain. That's all. Just because you have cleared an exam, an IAS, IPS exam, don't think you are the boss always. No. Your role is to identify who is the boss, who is the knowledge, who is having the knowledge in that particular situation. Now, your driver may be a boss many times. Your own one clerk who's a specialist in something will be a boss. You should know who is the boss and empower them. Then, so this identifying the boss is one of the important role. So don't go enter into civil service assuming that you will be the boss always. If you think you are the boss always, then you will be a big failure. Okay. Then another important thing, when we enter civil service, we always think that we have to take care of the civil servants. We have to take care of the civilians there. But many a times we will forget our own staff. That is also most important role of a civil servant. See, the staff who are working there, your employees, you should also take care of them. Now, if you don't take care of them, you as a single person cannot bring any change. Your staff should be ready to be your warriors. Now, how they can be warriors for you? Just like that they won't do. Just because you have cleared the exam, they'll respect you. But doesn't mean they are going to do anything for you. Then, what you have to do, I know one IAS officer, what he used to do is, he used to go to, especially the Group D employees. Group D employees are peons, office assistants. He used to go to their quarters and all. Now, they are the least big, many of us, people like me, what we'll do, whether sub-collector bangla is good, DM bangla is good, that only we see, whether proper facilities are there. We won't think about the Group C employees and Group T employees' quarters. So he used to go visit the quarters, go around and call the PWD, ensure everything is proper, drinking water, everything proper, painting. Moment you do like this, later when you come to office, won't your staff think, "Arey, this person is doing for me, I should do anything for him"? Again, another person, I know that person, his group D staff, their children, when they write 10 standard, 12 standard, whoever, because you are a sub collector or a district collector, huge staff you will have. Now, every year, among the staff, group D employees, 10 standard children, 12 standard children, one competition will be held. Competition is nothing but the government exam. Whoever gets the highest mark, he'll call them. He'll have his breakfast along with that person. And the group D employee will be there, his wife or husband, whatever, whoever is the group D employee, the spouse, then the child who got that first mark, and also the siblings, the brother and sister. Now, this collector has not done something big. He's just going to have his breakfast along with them, but that memory which that person is going to carry, lifelong memory. You have not done anything big. Anyhow, you're going to have breakfast. That day's breakfast you're going to do. He'll do it for 5 students. So, 5 days breakfast, if he does it, then think the message it is going to go across. Now, another collector I know, he never, see, you think if when you enter IAS, you all will listen. No, they are not going to listen. Because even bringing your own staff or to office on time itself is going to be a big challenge. So what he did, say you cannot suspend 90% of your employees and run your office. You can give a warning letter and all. But certain things, what they will do is, this collector I know, what he used to do is, if 9 o'clock is the office, he used to go at 8:30 itself. And around 8:55, 9, he just used to go near the gate of the collector office and keep wishing whoever enters, the employees when they enter, he just give a smile and say, "Hi, good morning, hi, good morning, good morning," just nothing, good morning. Now 9 o'clock, 9:05, 9:10, now people who start coming late, he'll never scold them. He'll just say, "Good morning," that's all. Now, gradually these people themselves will feel ashamed. The collector is waiting outside in the gate and wishing, "We are coming at 9:15, 9:20. Now, within 2-3 days, all staff were before 9. This is the change. Okay. Now, there is a different style, but your authority, don't think just your oral order or a written order is going to change. No. You have your role is to bring, you should know the psyche of the people also, and you should think that you should always see I have to take care of my employees also. Keep that in mind. You as a single individual can never bring a change. You can only bring a change along with your team, and your team are humans. I am not asking you to act. You should be really having concern. If you don't take care of them, who will take care? Many employees will come and ask, "Sir, I want my son's admission in this school." Just your phone call will do for you. One phone call, give admission, they'll give. But that employee is going to become your lifelong follower. Whatever you say, he will not leak it to outside. Because generally when you want to do something, a ration shop, right, immediately message before you start your car, message will go there. But these people, you'll have a lot of confidence for you, who will do anything for you. Bring that. Then only your role and you can bring in a change in the system. Now, finally, I also want to say that this civil service take it as one God-given opportunity. As I told you in the beginning, if you want to bring in change, then as individually now, you can never do anything because of the resource constraint. Now, so many are in Corona, they are all caught. Can you go and give food? Okay, you can spend, say 1,000 kg food grains, you can give 2,000, but how many people? You have your own resource constraint. Second thing, whether you can move out first of all. Third, when you want to change a system, there is going to be huge resistance and you don't have the authority to it. They'll immediately say, "Who are you to come inside the school to look into the midday meal?" Now, whereas here, once you join the civil service, you have been given the authority to change. Finally, before I conclude, as I told you, civil service is a wonderful service. You should join, make changes in the system. But one most important thing you have to remember is, once we enter the system, we start thinking ourselves so big. Everyone will tell us we are the best. Okay, when you join as a sub-collector or district collector, assistant, ASP, additional SP, SP, everywhere, take my word, once you join the service, you will hear this one, sir, you are excellent, sir, madam, you are excellent. But remember that they will tell the same thing, they would have told the same thing to your predecessor also, they will tell the same thing to your successor. They'll always say, sir, this is the first time we are getting the best collector, first time, best SP, best sub-collector. But however, if you start believing, because they will tell that to the same thing for generations. Once we start assuming we are great, please, no, nothing like, you are not great. Okay, you are, remember that this word public servant or civil servant is a servant. That servant word many of us forget. Moment we come to go to Mussoorie, training, horse riding, Bharat Darshan, star hotels, great journeys. Then when we go big bungalows, we cut off from the reality that we are a servant. Please remember, servant is the crucial thing, and this entire aura around you. You are great, sir. This, that. It will vanish immediately once you go from one post to next post. Say you are a sub-collector, from sub-collector you are moving to another post, or district collector one post to another post. Many times I have found the employees will not even assist you to carry your luggage to the next. You have to, because now you are not, the new collector will come now. He will be staying in the circuit house. He'll be asking, when the collector is moving, the old collector have to come occupy. So your own staff who are telling you are the best in the world will now tell, sir, collector is telling you to go, sir, we have to vacate, we have to clean, whitewash and give it to the new collector. Now you will realize, all these days we were thinking we are God, and we thought that all are thinking as a God. No, it is just an aura. Again, I remember one more officer who came for a guest lecture in Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. He told us one story, that one donkey was there. That donkey was with the washerman. That washerman every day used to after washing the clothes, that donkey used to carry that washed clothes to his house. One day, this washerman got one order from a local person. That local villager told, see, I want to carry some Ganapati, Ganapati idol. Okay. Now, Ganapati idol, we have made a lot of Ganapati idols, so we have to go carry it to the local market, which is maybe 10 kilometers away. So, can you give your donkey for that? Can you help? And we'll pay you for that. So now, the washerman accepted. So now, that Ganapatis, that idols were all kept over the donkey. Now the donkey started moving towards the market. Now as it was going, so many people some were folding the hands, some were putting petals. Now the donkey started thinking, Baap, we are great it seems. All are folding hands in front of us. Some are putting petals. All these days we didn't know that we are great. Now we are realizing. So as it was going for next 10 kilometers, everywhere there was so much respect for the donkey. And the donkey was so happy. And once that it went to the market, all the Ganapatis, that idols were unloaded. The donkey was returning. The donkey was seeing here and there. No one was even seeing the donkey. The donkey got frustrated. What is happening? All these people were putting petals a little before. They've forgotten everything. Then the donkey started making noise. Then some people think, what is this bad donkey? We'll put some stones on it. They started stoning the donkey. Now, the donkey didn't realize that all these, 10 kilometers respect was not for the donkey, but for the Ganapati idol it was carrying. Similarly, when you join civil service, if you are thinking that the respect you are going to get is, you are great sir, you are best madam, is because of you, no. The post which you are going to hold, the district collector, SP, additional SP, whichever post, or assistant commissioner, deputy commissioner, anything, that post is the Ganapati idol. You are not the Ganapati idol. Remember that always. Moment that post goes away, then you are also the donkey which is going to return empty-handed without any respect. So remember that. Please remove the ego which you may have, because many of us think that once we join we are intelligent, just we are clearing 3 stages of the exam, prelims, mains, interview, that's all. So don't think immediately we become the most intelligent person on the earth. No. See, I've cleared this exam twice. Okay. I know I am not the most intelligent person. I'm quite average. Okay. So, but when I was in civil service, if you would have asked me, because I'm out of service now, that time I would have also told, I am great. Especially if you are honest, you will get a lot of arrogance also. Please remove that. Okay. You are a servant. You are carrying the Ganapatis. That's all. So the respect you are getting is not for you, for the Ganapati, the post. So remove that ego and use every day there in the civil service to bring in some change which you can bring in where the common man, every decision you can make for the in the civil service will bring lot of changes. One signature, one ration shop raid, and always when you raid, my gurus in the civil service when I joined, they used to tell me, see, when you raid, don't raid the weakest ration shop. Always go and attack, raid the most powerful ration shop owner who will be a brother or sister or nephew of minister. If you go and raid, then immediately message will go across. Are this person has raided the minister's brothers, then everything all will be proper then. So you can bring in lot of changes there. It is a God, you can bring, it's a God-given opportunity for you. Yes, a big role and responsibility is waiting for you. But remember, you should do it as a servant only. Okay, don't think that you are a master, then you'll become one more officer who will not bring change. If you want to become a civil servant who's going to make changes in the society, then please remember that you are a civil servant only, not a master. I hope this message I could connect you, give you in this civil service day. So knowing all these things, enter into the service. And for entering into the service also, yes, it's a challenge. 3 things: prelims, mains, and interview. Give your level best. Give your hard work. Once you do give your hard work, definitely the God will help you to achieve your dream and enter into civil service. And after entering into civil service also, you be a civil servant only and bring in change and help the people and help the common man and bring a change in the society. And I hope my whatever I wanted to convey has reached you. So best wishes for the forthcoming prelims exam, mains exam, and interview. Best wishes for you to become a civil servant, a model civil servant who will bring change in the society. So this is the day for the civil service day. So I thought I will share certain things of what is civil service on civil service day. And thank you from Israel Jabasingh, the director of Officers IAS Academy.